Welcome to episode 3 of The View on Outbound, powered by OutboundView. My name is James Bodden, and I have the pleasure of interviewing everybody but salespeople in this video series where we talk to CMOs, CPOs, CISOs about what works in cold outreach, what doesn't work in cold outreach, and ways that salespeople can up their game when it comes to their cold outbound outreach. Episode 3, I am thrilled about our guest. Darryl Praill, CMO at VanillaSoft, stops by, and boy, does Darryl deliver. I mean, Darryl literally pulls up an email that he got that worked, and he breaks down why it works, and he breaks down why some messages he gets don't work. And we get very, very granular and tactical about things that salespeople need to be doing to really turn the corner on getting their prospects' attention and then providing value once they've got it. A fantastic episode. So without any further ado, let's kick off episode 3 of The View on Outbound, powered by OutboundView, featuring none other than Darryl Praill, CMO at VanillaSoft. Enjoy. Okay, episode 3 of The View on Outbound, powered by OutboundView. I'm honored to have my guest, CMO at VanillaSoft, Darryl Praill. Thank you for coming on the show.
James, my friend, I'm starstruck. I'm here with you, dude.
Likewise, I think we spent the first 2 to 3 minutes just exchanging adoration for each other, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
It's true, but I did notice that I adored you more than you adored me. Just putting it out there.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that win. That's fine. So diving right into your view on Outbound, how much cold outreach do you get on a daily, weekly basis? And what's your general feeling about it? Do you hate it? Do you have a email box specifically called junk from salespeople? What's your take on it?
All right, so I'll answer the question, but I'll also give a little context. So as a CMO, most of the corporate communications that come up from the company come from me, my name on it, even though half the time I don't even see it before it goes out the door. And so why does that matter and why is that relevant here? Well, why it matters is because when these emails go out, we get a lot of out of offices, a lot of take me off your list and die in hell responses. So I don't tie that to my real, true VanillaSoft email. I have a second email account on VanillaSoft, and they all come from that. And so I have both accounts open in my browser all day long, and I go back and forth, and I'm always cleaning it. That matters because I can discern how they're finding me. And I'll give you an example. If they send it to the corporate account, the corporate account, not my personal account.
Yeah.
And that says there's a good chance they have bought a list because I've sure as hell not subscribed to them. And if they went to my LinkedIn, they would not find that email address. So that tells me right away the source of how they're reaching out to me. If they come to my personal account on VanillaSoft, then that tells me something similarly. To answer your question, I probably get 20 to 30 every day of emails that are trying to sell me something. And I could be lowballing that, but the vast majority of them fall in a couple of camps, which is, hey, can I have 10 minutes in your calendar or 15 minutes in your calendar? And those get deleted right away, just gone. All right. The emails are all about them. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're the best thing since sliced bread. Those get deleted right away because that has nothing to do with me. I don't give a shit what you do. It's not. I'm a selfish bastard. It's not about you. It's about me. All right. The ones who take the time to have an interesting subject line will get me to open it. The vast majority, I don't even open. I just delete. If I do open it, then you've got like the first sentence or two max to hook me and give me relevance and context. So 90% plus don't do that. 90% plus are just pitching. And I swear they don't proofread their own emails. So that, I don't know, that answers your question. I can tell you why I do act on the ones I do act on, but those are So the ones I do, I'll give you an example. So it's funny you should see that. I literally got an email today. Now, this particular email came to my corporate account, not my personal one, my corporate one. So I know they're buying it, but okay, whatever.
Okay,
And
so
the
let me
subject
stop
line,
you right there. So
yeah,
just because it's come to you, the corporate one, and you know they're buying, that's not an automatic disqualifier.
not an automatic disqualifier
Okay.
if they make it relevant, and this one does. So this one says how company ABC is helping SalesLoft. Now, so for those of you who don't know, the sales engagement space is a crowded space with many vendors. VanillaSoft is probably one of the more prominent ones, along with SalesLoft and Outreach. So the subject line says how company ABC is helping SalesLoft. And my first reaction when I saw it was like, you moron, you're sending me an email with one of my, pseudo competitors in this space. I don't give a shit how you're helping SalesLoft. But I opened it because it had SalesLoft. And then I read it, and then it goes on, but fundamentally, in a couple sentences says, we've been engaged by SalesLoft to do this. Given the work we're doing with them, I think VanillaSoft could also benefit from the same platform. Do you want to talk? Okay, that got my attention because now I had context. And I'll give you an example why it got my attention. It got my attention because A, it was my competition, so I wanted to give you grief, but then I actually read it because it was my competition and I'm curious.
Yep.
And then B, now I wanted to know, so they've engaged you. So I could have a call with you and I could get a lot of competitive intelligence about what they're doing. And if it makes sense, then maybe I should be doing it too, because I have to minimally keep pace. I can't let them get beyond me. So that one, they personalized. It was very short. It was literally a grand total. I'm looking at it right now of 3 sentences.
Ugh.
I can
Okay.
consume that.
Okay. Okay.
So that one, and of course, the next thing I did after I saw that email was I opened up their website to say, okay, what is it these guys do? And that's kind of the process. You're hooking me with the subject line, you make it relevant in the body. Now I'm going to either check out your company and or you, and then I'll make a commitment. But you have to, all those need to be check marks.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning there, because you said something that I think when we really get into the nitty gritty of seeing success in outbound is when you start thinking about delivery and is my message even getting to the inbox, and am I being flagged by spam? Does my prospect have 2 separate email addresses that he or she uses for a corporate reason, or whatever? And I
Yep.
think that just the fact that you right off the gate, just by which email inbox the message ends up in, know where their journey started and how they found you. And I know that's not necessarily something that I've always thought of
No.
when I'm building lists, and I'd argue that building lists is probably the hardest part of really nailing it, because of the reason you just said, right? I mean, you could just get disqualified. Now, for you, it's not an automatic disqualifier, right? But I would imagine that there are folks out there that if it's coming to the corporate email, I'm just never going to read it. It's never going to get seen because you didn't take
Oh,
the time to go to LinkedIn and find the personal one, because that information's out there as well, which I think is interesting.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's totally out there. And the reason in my case it's out there is because I have this, I don't know, integrity thing where I think, listen, I'm selling to sales reps and the marketing people. And I get what's like for them to try to drum up business. So the least I could do is make myself available to them similarly. If they can sell me, great. If they can't, well, that's on them. If you're reaching out to, Vito, the very important top officer, which technically I guess I am because I have budget. And Vito is public facing. So many CEOs are, many heads of marketing, many heads of sales are. You can assume they have that second email. And the second thing you need to think about is that those Vitos often never look at that inbox. They have staffers do that. And staffers aren't motivated the same way a Vito is to take care of strategy and budget. They're just keeping it clean. They just want to know, did somebody yell at me? Do I have somebody who says, yes, send me information? Do I have somebody saying, take me off your list? The rest they don't care about. So if you've got the wrong email because you've got their public email as opposed to their personal email, then they're your chances just drop like a rock, and they may never even see it.
Yeah, so all that time you're going to spend building all of this messaging may never even reach that person. They may never see it. And that's a
Right.
harsh reality. And so any way that you can solve for that, I think is fantastic. Talk about the ones that are catching your attention. What kinds of subject lines, what does that look like? What's going to get you to open the email? And then you know, get down to the way that, I mean, you were gracious enough to literally share an exact example, which I think is fantastic. 3 sentences mentioning a competitor, which I think is interesting. But let's start with just the subject lines. What
So
what piques Darryl's interest?
be provocative with me. In other words, hook me
Mm.
that this matters to me. So too many of you have really long subject lines. Too many of you talk about yourselves again. I can't say that enough. Um, I think the stats say 3 to 5 words max. I know the stats say that because, hey, we're a sales engagement vendor. We measure those things. 3 to 5 words max. That 1 or 2 words will actually pull the most. If you want to be provocative, something like thought this might interest you. Okay, well, sure, I'll open that, right? Um, thought of you, dot, 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 right?
Hmm.
Um,
What's on the other side of this email?
what's you nailed it right there, right? This might uh, this might interest you. This might appeal to you. Based on what I know, dot dot dot.
Hmm.
So you're being provocative.
Cliffhangers.
They're
Cliffhangers.
cliffhangers.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens next, right? It's reality TV.
Yeah.
But the second part is you're implying that this matters to me. You're implying that you know something about me and you know something else that I might have interest in. Um, even stupid things like, is this an issue for you? Uh, do you suffer from this? And by the way, it's not erectile dysfunction, just so we're clear.
we're not
Um,
we're not selling Cialis.
exactly. So, it's those kind of things. And then the email needs to tie in right away. If it opens up, hey, first name, you've personalized it. And Darryl, often I'll get, hey, D Praill.
Ooh,
Love that.
even better. Yeah.
Yeah, even better. Yeah. And then, that first sentence, I know, in your position or in your role or in your mandate, or I read that, or I saw that. So you're connecting that subject line to that first line.
Okay.
I saw on LinkedIn where you said you have this problem,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a thread all the way through. It's a
Yep.
cliffhanger, and then that first sentence immediately ties into what the hell you were talking about in your subject line. And I've seen really good subject lines attached to emails that have nothing to do with
Yes.
said subject line,
Yeah.
which I think is another huge miss. So I
Well,
think
I
that's
delete it just right away.
boom, right? Okay.
Gone.
So another huge call out. It's got to
Yeah.
be a great subject line, and then you've got to immediately follow up on the cliffhanger.
Oh, what's the classic, right? I mean, we all know this. If I'm cold calling, not emailing, the classic is, oh, hi, James. It's Darryl Praill from VanillaSoft. How are you doing today? Your 7 seconds that you had to do that cold call is now dead. You, James, know that I'm cold calling you, and you're already tuning out. Like, how can I get off this? What do? You say, you say hello, and I say, hi, this is Darryl. Listen, I have a question for you. And you just go into it, right? You just go into it.
Yeah.
And so now you get to 27 seconds or max, but you don't even give them a chance because they're listening.
Yeah.
Email is the same way, guys. Exact same way. You just go into it. Don't waste my time. If I can't skim it on my phone that I'm holding up for those who are listening in audio only, within the screen of the phone, chances are I'm tuning out. The other
Boom.
thing I want to point out, because a lot of reps don't think about this, reps are always looking for shortcuts. So let me tell you that we're hip to your game. So if you use a subject line, as you said, James, that is a killer, kick-ass subject line, it causes me to open it up, and then the body doesn't relate to the subject line. Here's the message you're sending me. You're sending me that you played me. You
Mm,
use that line to hook me, and now I've got to open. You're actually going to go for the kill, the one email close, if you will, which is disingenuous.
yeah.
You misled me. I know you misled me. I get it now. I feel the fool. Therefore, do you think I can trust you to do business if the start of our relationship is you being disingenuous, you misleading me? You may have the best thing since sliced bread. We can't do business together because I can't trust you. And that's what you need to know. That's what you're communicating. You think you're doing well. You've got a shortcut. You hook me. I open it. My open rate is great.
Mm.
We should talk open rates. My open rate kicks ass. Yeah, well, then what's your burn rate? Let's talk about that, because that's what you're sending out. Enough with the shortcuts.
Yeah. So all of you sales managers out there that love looking at dashboards, maybe start looking at the open rate in relation to the unsubscribe rate.
You got it. You got it.
Coming to the end here, you've covered what works. You've covered a literal example of something that you got today that got you to open it. We talked about subject lines. We talked about kind of how you feel about outbound in general. I think it's very important for us to talk about what you're doing at VanillaSoft, because this is an audience of salespeople that are tuned in to listen and learn about how to reach out to marketers and how to do it a better way. VanillaSoft can help them do that. So talk to us a little bit about VanillaSoft, and then we'll wrap this thing up, Darryl.
Sounds good. So I mentioned already that we compete against many other sales engagement vendors. VanillaSoft is probably it's definitely the top three up there with SalesLoft and Outreach. The question I often get asked when I did what I did with you, saying, "Oh, do you know SalesLoft and Outreach?" Yes, I do. Well, we do what they do. Is they always follow up with, "Well, why are you different?" And I'm like, "Thank you for asking. That's a great question." So a couple of things you need to know about VanillaSoft, and this is actually really good because people always, and this is the same thing you do in emails, guys. People are looking for context. Do I care about you or not? So what I'm going to say right now, you need to be doing, do I care about what Darryl says or not? So here we go. SalesLoft and Outreach really play to the medium enterprise size or organizations. That's it, right? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats, they don't care about you, and that's great. That's focus for them. Okay, and they're all in on high tech. Anything they tell you otherwise is just marketing. If you don't believe me, you can go to Zoom Info, Discover Org, whatever, and do a search. Do they have SalesLoft? Yeah, they have X thousand customers. Remove those who are not in high tech. Boom. Okay, we have 3 left over. So they're all in a high tech SaaS medium enterprise, and they do really, really well there. And they both have great offerings, and I applaud their capabilities. For us, high tech is 18% of our install base, and we don't go medium enterprise. We focus on small to medium. So if you want to buy 100 seats or 1,000 seats, I'm your guy. You want to buy 1 seat, I'm your guy. The other thing is that we're in industries that historically really do embrace the phone. So if you're in insurance, you're in healthcare, you're in finance, you're in fundraising, you're in professional services, you're going to find VanillaSoft. The biggest difference between the two platforms and why you should care as a sales rep is that SalesLoft and Outreach are just like Salesforce.com. When you log on, you got a list, and you as the rep, you still have to work through that list manually. What we do is we have a queue. So we serve every next best lead to you. No lists, no cherry picking. So if you're being measured by activity numbers and conversations, statistically, you will have 3 times more conversations with us than you will with them. And that's just the way it is. Best of all, if you don't believe me, or you're thinking it's, you want to check it out and see if the hype matches up what Praill's saying, no problem. No contracts with us, no annual commitments. It's month to month. So sign up for a free trial, check it out. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I shoot straight. I will tell you if it's a good fit for you or not.
And now you know the best ways to reach out to Darryl specifically, at the very least.
Yes, you do. Now you have
Darryl,
no excuses.
yeah, no, and Darryl, I really do appreciate you coming here. I think this is going to help lots and lots of salespeople up their outbound game. Thank you so much for the time. And with that, I'm going to wrap up episode 3 of The View on Outbound, powered by OutboundView.